Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Count Christo. This is the MEIOU and Taxes Light of the East campaign. Thank you ever so very much for joining me. Now why can't I call this? Right, because we're building the workshop. We, in the last episode, just focusing on consolidating our land, we had a little minor succession crisis, went down to 50 legitimacy, but that's okay. We brought things under control, and we have a 6-4 coming up, which doesn't look great because he has a 1 in military, but you have to remember that military points are even more than in vanilla. They are by far the least helpful. So we absolutely do not mind. 6-4 is a very good result for us. The burghers are incredibly happy with us, so we need to spend some of their happiness, basically, by demanding something. Let's do the expansion of city citizenship. Level 6, because the burghers are getting up there in influence now. We get some more urban gravity, less unrest, and all provinces get some less unrest as well. That will help us through the transition, and it will hopefully begin to get us cranking on that stability up. So there we go. The peace with Napoli is signed. Sicily took some truly horrendous land, Bordeaux-wise, and Hungary actually snaffled themselves a substantial little package of Italy there. Not giving very much aggressive expansion to me, but if we could somehow persuade them to take a bit more land, they could get basically the whole of northern Italy and the HRN coalition. That would be fun. So unfortunately, they are allied to France. Now, beating them up when France is on their side is going to be challenging. I'm not going to lie to you. Not really sure what the plan is going to be on that one. Yeah, we'll see. Really glad that we managed to take the Sinai Desert in that... you haven't broken free of you? No. In that war with the Mamluks, it was an absolute nightmare fighting our way back forth across here. Working our way through the coring, but still not even halfway there. Now, okay, so this is a pretty big deal. Right now, we're converting pretty nicely. We could end the jizya. We get a religious scandal, which is obviously a problem, for 3 years, and 3 years on both. But so they don't stack the religious scandals. And yes, it goes against the teachings of the Quran, but we get an extra 20 fanaticism, which is obviously what we're going for right now. It means that we're no longer draining the local wealth of all of our Orthodox provinces, and we'll be able to convert substantially faster because the jizya poll tax is losing us 0.1. Yeah, I mean we're doubling down on it, so no, I declare both Christianity and Judaism to be idolatry, which is going to bump up our conversion rate. Now, because there's a scandal going on, we can appropriate church property. We could also force heretics to convert. Here's how we could end our run. We could just expel Orthodox Christians, which would cause we get 800 ducats and then so many provinces. We get 10 unrest. We don't want to do that. It damages the provinces quite significantly, so we will reconsider this drastic step. We could have a convert heretics peacefully, but it does use up one of your missionaries, so there are better uses. We could appropriate church property. Yeah, we might as well, basically, because yes, we want more church influence, but when we can give it to them free and then take it from them free and get benefits on both ends, it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm not even convinced I want the stability. I might take the cash, which I know is ridiculous. Oh my god. We got a lot of unrest from the things beginning to stack up here. Our intolerance is becoming a little insane. Oh my lord. Yeah, -4 on intolerance is becoming 12. I'm not sure how that works. Is that just a MEIOU and Taxes thing that I didn't know about? Intolerance gets like times by 4. Yeah, we obviously have some religious problems after that decision. That might be enough to make me decide we should actually just... I always think, like, yeah, okay, this time we're going to be really fanatical. We're going to We're going to take all the religious ideas. We're going to convert everybody really quickly. It's going to be great. The problem is that secularism is just so much better than fanaticism. So I think I am going to make the executive call that as of our next ruler, we're going to still convert everyone. It's just going to be slower because we're going to keep the jizya. And obviously this will only keep this, we'll have one pious ruler, which will hopefully help us get a bunch of conversion done, even if it's going to mean we have to fight a bunch of rebels. And fighting rebels right now is fine because we've got a long wait before our next big wars anyway, because we've got tons of land to integrate. We don't need to be going around using our manpower on other stuff. But yeah, I think I'm going. We talked about trying to be pious. It's not working. Let's pivot. This is madness. So when our next ruler, we can just call it, this particular ruler had a bit of a bad direction to him, and so when he goes, we'll return to more tolerant ways. This is not manageable. Would I like to introduce my heir? We do get. What is that? Effectively plus. That's not very much, is it? Plus 10 prestige, 15 prestige, and but the claim strength of air is good. Let's do that for the claim strength of air. And then that extra 5 centralization. I am tempted to get rid of military elite now. Go with appointed elite. Our autonomy is already great, even without appointed elite. It's basically just capped at 50 because we haven't cored places. I also don't want the corruption right now. Doesn't corruption lower unrest? No, maybe that was an old thing. Or maybe that's a vanilla thing. Good thing about military elite, of course, is the national manpower. Yep, I think now is the time. We've won our big war against the Mamluks. I can afford to lose the extra manpower. This might put us at very low manpower. It might have impacts beyond than I expect, because we're losing 20%. But I think the reform modifier is getting applied after the overextension reduction, not before. If it was before, it would be kind of disastrous, but let's switch. It's going to cost 10 corruption, which is a very, very silly mechanic, but that's vanilla, so we won't blame you, Gigao, don't worry. And let's see what that does to our manpower. 84,500. Concessions from the church. We will obviously accept it. You don't demand, you basically never do this. Just accept their offering, that's fine. And the appointed elite is, as I say, it's going to tank the autonomy in a lot of places, which is really nice. How much is this trending down by? 0.05? Okay, yeah, so this is a good point. This is why we need these things like the appointed elite. The autonomy in Alexandria right now is only trending down by another 5%. So it's going to settle at around 94%. That's not acceptable. We need it much lower than that. And that's with quick communication. What's going on here? Why is this so high? Burghers can... Oh, of course, separatism. Separatism is pushing it up by 40%. It's really easy to do the calculation on what autonomy is going to trend towards, by the way, because plus 0.1 autonomy means it's going to trend 10% higher on its trending equilibrium, which is obviously very, very simple maths. Congratulations, Sunyaya. You are our second Miaphysite subject. So we're going to have Armenia holding the kind of north, and basically Armenia's going to hold, Armenia's going to hold kind of all this bit, and maybe these two as well, honestly. Although these are Sunni, right? Not Miaphysite. Yeah, well, okay, that one's Chaldean, but whatever. All heretics to me. I'll probably give both of these to Armenia. And then to, what the heck are you called again? I keep mispronouncing these guys' names. I was told about this. Someone on stream gave me the phonetic thing. I've forgotten. I apologize. I think it's Sayunia. Someone was what they were saying. They will own this kind of region, basically. To the, that bit, and then maybe this bit as well. And then we will directly own a road across here, essentially. Yeah, and then the Crimea is going to own... Not the Crimea. I always call them the Crimea because obviously, in most of the periods of history that I've studied and read about and things, Crimea wasn't a nation. or, you know, I'm not trying to quibble over what the word nation means, but they weren't an independent state. Yeah, keep those conversions coming. If we can get a bunch of conversion done during the shall we call it the mad reign, the mad reign of Padishah Ghiyasuddin the First, Osman Ali. But Mehmet Ali II, well, he's not Mehmet Ali II, but he's Mehmet II. He's going to return some tolerance, stability to the place, I think. At least that'll be the plan. Obviously, that means at some point we're probably going to want to take humanist ideas. But the thing is, humanist ideas, it's not that good, because we don't really want to be too tolerant of heretics, because we do want to keep converting them. I think with enough tolerated minorities, we're going to be fine. It's going to tank, even if we take state religion, it's going to tank our, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Our piety. Our piety should be low enough. Appropriated church land. Yeah, I will take the legitimacy. Not least because you get the Great Noble loyalty as well, and yeah, that will help stabilize things. Now we're back up to 100 legitimacy. That's trending down by 2.3 a year. Yeah, religious scandal won't last too much longer though. I love it when it says there's room for 22, and then you move 22 guys there, and it's like, oh, sorry, you're over the limit. Oh my god, 30,000 Hellenese separatists. That's pretty freaking bad. Well, let's bring these guys over from Egypt, and we'll see if we can put them down. We've got some more Trebizond separatists. Silk is, of course, what we choose. Where was that? Was that in the capital? No, that was in Alexandria. Nice. Well, that's good timing. Dumyat, we can't visit you because we haven't cored you yet. Speaking of coring, let's get another trio of provinces going. Nice. Most of it coring now. Benghazi is doing all right. Got some nice canals there. Our canals up here in southern Cyprus are doing pretty well as well. Should be beginning to help with the wonderful rural growth there. Athens, likewise. I don't think we afforded the canals there yet. Roads, we put some canals in already, didn't we? Yeah, only 1.2 get rural goods there, but it's getting there. It's getting there. We need to get the autonomy down and things. Okay, what else do we need to do? Well, obviously I should have been saving for this loan for a little while, so let's save for that. It's fairly typical for me that I end up taking out a loan just whenever we have the unrest. Only minus 21 now, getting there. Okay. Where's those? Transport ships have arrived, good. I will transport them over. We'd really like them to not burn down Athens. It's a province we're really going to try and focus on the development of. So ideally, if we could be burnt down the minimum number of times for the rest of the campaign, that would be very much appreciated. We'll see though. Back up to 100 on the Mamluks. So what's the big downside, by the way, of choosing that we are, in fact, after this reign, going to go towards negative piety? The big downside is, well, A, it's going to take slightly longer to convert. And B, much more importantly, we're going to have to think about what we're going to do for war goals. For the immediate future, we have a couple that give permanent claims, but not very many. So isn't there a... I can't remember. What's the mechanic in MEIOU and taxes around expansion and exploration? Because we could take the expansion idea group. Well, you probably don't want to, though. There's not that much to colonize over here. So we might end up just fabricating claims and then paying quite a few Diplo points, basically, in the fullness of time. Oh, come on. Please don't fall on 7%. I might be able to relieve the siege in time. That's got to 14 now. That is going to fall. They have 9,000 cavalry. The rebels always spawn with more cavalry than I think is reasonable, because cavalry is so much more expensive. Now, do we charge in? It's going to arrive on the 21st. Sorry, what was it? The 23rd of June? Yeah. I am going to go in because it didn't fall. So we will see. Ding, ding. Yeah, so the thing about the idea groups that I'm not sure of is I'm not sure it's even in vanilla anymore, but in old vanilla, you used to get war goals just for having the idea groups. I'm pretty sure that's gone from both vanilla and MEIOU and taxes now, though. Not certain. Have we got any other rebellions that are looking like they're going to be a lot of men? Jesus, Trebizond separatists are going to get 21,000 men. Yeah, I mean, this is a huge city, so it's... Oh, God, that city is so close to being not rebellious. You guys, go drop them off in Trebizond. And then if we can just reduce the unrest there by a tiny, tiny bit, that will massively decrease the size of this rebellion. But... I mean, we've got a 61% chance of increasing the stuff because obviously our overextension is so high. It's cranking on the rebellion progress, but let's see what we can do. We lost a lot of men in that fight, and we're not in a position to be losing loads of manpower. Guys, really, yeah, it's a really, really bad time. You know what? I like this leader. He's a 4-5-5, which again, you know, I'd rather the 5s were in admin, but he's really, really good. I would I almost wouldn't mind him dying against the rebels that are basically his fault. Yes, I am blaming him for my decision making. But his fault of being, you know, the intolerant ruler that he is. Okay, what are we looking at after the Trebizond rebellion? Right, around Sinop. Okay. Ah, damn it. We so nearly managed to avoid that. So nearly. Okay, well, let's begin walking over the army, and then we will transport the other half of the army. That's really unfortunate. That's so unfair, the fact that Trebizond has, you know, 1.4 unrest, and then just because this one has 13 unrest, a huge rebellion spawns and Trebizond, you know, contributes towards it. That's a little nonsensical, but you know what? Sometimes you just have to make do. Burghers, you're still getting richer, so I really don't want either of those, though. I could get surf conditions from these guys. Yeah, give me improved surf conditions as well. Just trying to really lower the autonomy the unrest as much as possible. Crimea, you're chuffed with me, aren't we? I could designate Crimea a march. I mean, we are going to want them to march in the fullness of time. I was only not doing so because they were giving me... I mean, they're giving me 1.1 ducats a month. I don't really want to give up 1.1 ducats a month. Unfortunately, these guys are, I think, almost certainly going to win the siege, because I'm not going to send these guys until... Well, maybe not. We'll see. Let's be really efficient in who we send here. Obviously, we don't care about sending any cannons, because they are essentially militarily irrelevant at this stage of the game. You guys can come up here. And by militarily, I mean, you know, in combat, obviously. Not even slightly irrelevant in terms of their ability to be helpful during wars. Okay, good. We don't need to scroll up and down anymore to do our coring. Getting there on this. It was, I mean, remember, it was like 1,200 admin points worth of coring that we took from the Mamluks. It's reasonable that we have a period of instability and strife at this stage. It's 100% to be expected. I just realized I'm still running my my VPN. I should close the VPN, and I should close a few other programs I have running. I'll do that in between this episode and the next. Okay, there's one more. Good. Navalus coring, good. And we took Jerusalem, which doesn't give us anything, as it turns out. There were various theories. It was going to give us a missionary or whatever. I think, should we go in with these guys? I think no. I think we should take the risk. It's a 21% chance. I don't want to go in and lose the fight, obviously. That would be a disaster. Excellent vintage this year. That's what we like to see. Okay, bring these guys over. Come on, 28% chance. Don't do me dirty. I believe. I believe. Yes! Okay. No province modifier in Jerusalem? No, I don't believe so. I mean, there's the Patriarchate, of course, but... And we got the mission for capturing it. But no, I think there's various events that target Jerusalem, but I don't think there's an actual national or province modifier. Other unrest coming up. We've got noble rebels. Mostly concentrated around here. Okay, and how many? 21,000. So that's obviously a bit of a problem. You guys should get out of any... Don't stand in any provinces that have unrest right now. We could just raise up a bunch more men as well, which I think I am going to do. We've been losing a lot of frontline men, so we shouldn't go too hard on the cavalry. Again, I know I'm meant to be saving for my loan. Okay, but we managed to save Trebizond. Should I sally forth? We're winning already, that's fine. Managed to save Trebizond from being looted, sacked by the darn rebels, so that's good. I guess I'll just put my men in Izmit, and then we'll kind of operate from there. Half of you can walk over. Although I'd really rather they didn't get risen up on, but we'll see. And you guys can suppress as much as possible in these regions, and obviously we're going to add to them soon. Izmit has, yeah, 37 supply limit. That should be fine for now. Okay. We're dealing with it. We're getting through it. I mean, obviously, when you have a relatively religiously unified area, being intolerant so you can convert really fast can be a very valid strategy. It's just a bit troublesome when you're less unified. Okay, a couple of rebellions put down, a few more yet to trigger. Really a very... I mean, I know it was partly for the roleplay, not for the optimization, but a really, really bad idea to go so intolerant when we had such a large Orthodox minority remaining in the country. I'm not best pleased with myself for having done that, but we will manage. Either way, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.